$500,000. You know, my salary might be $200,000, but I just saved them $500,000. Not only that, with a toolbox, they have a company now, an LLC. So now they don't have to hustle in that old way. It looks tacky. Now they look more professional because they got their own companies. So and then in like more professional fields like mine, so I work in IT, right? So there's a very prestigious certification called the CCIE. It's the Cisco Certified Inter-Networking Expert. And at this point in history, Cisco has basically there's a question mark next to your cert if you get it from China or India. And the reason why is because they cheat on the tests. So if you go to India and take your and pass your CCIE, Cisco's not going to trust it. And likewise, if you do it in China, Cisco's not going to trust it because those people cheat on the test. And what happens in my situation or my arena of work is that you'll have like 5 or 6 immigrants who are in IT, and they all want the same job that I'm competing for. Now, I cost too much. So they're going to be like, okay, this nigga's out. So they're going to hire about 6 of these niggas. Or if I'm already working there, they're going to hire 6 of these niggas, make me train the one who is the smartest out of the group. He still ain't shit, but I got to train him because he's going to, he'll learn over time. He'll learn over time. He'll learn enough to be serviceable. He'll learn enough for them to justify getting rid of my ass because my salary too high. And once they get me out of there, he becomes the new network guy, but most of his work is contracted out to an MSP or a managed service provider, the shit that he can't do. Now, they're okay with this because he's so fucking cheap that the MSP is only paid hourly or whenever their service is needed, right? They're paid on an as-needed basis. So if I did my job right, the network is going to be good for another like 5 to 7 years. They won't need to upgrade equipment because I've already solved these problems, right? So by the time I leave, they're good for like 7 years. Now during that time, they got a really cheap engineer, and sometimes they might have to pay extra for some services if something breaks. Now, what happens when you go that route is the MSP works their way into your business because they're like, well, your engineer doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Won't you keep us on tab? They have meetings with your managers, meetings with your higher ups to make sure that they stay in there. Once they get their hooks into the company, them niggas is not getting out of there. So the engineer that they hired to take your job, he knows this. So his next move is to move into management. Now, because he's cheap, it's easier to put him in management because he's going to be a cheap-ass manager. They can fire the manager that's getting overpaid and replace him with this guy. Now, because he's the cheap manager, he has the power to hire people under him. So what does he do? All of the people that came over with him, he goes and hires all those people. All of the people that failed to get the job the first time, he'll go back and hire those people. Now they got a team full of incompetent engineers who all work at the same company. But your ass gotta go find another job. That's how the immigrants play the IT game. Now when shit hits the fan, here's what happens to companies, right? So my salary is offset by the fact that the money that they make over time is much more than my salary could ever produce. So, for example, let's just say they were paying, I don't know, $500,000 a year for some app that does some ERP stuff, all right? And I come in and I say, so that app that you guys are using, you're overpaying for it. First of all, there's a lot of things that they're putting inside of our infrastructure that don't need to be here. We can take all of that out. We don't have to pay the maintenance fees and licensing fees on them. We might as well just go a different route with that. We can buy a service or a server, or we can just throw all of this stuff in the data center, and just pay by usage, right? So I saved them $500,000. My salary might be $200,000, but I just saved them $500,000. Not only that, over time I'm saving them I'm saving them $200,000 in licensing fees every year and management fees every
Battery
year.
level is 50%.
So my salary is offset by how much money that I can actually save them, going forward. Or if shit hits the fan where they can't afford to be down for more than, 4 hours. So I know what I'm doing, so I can get us back up and running in about an hour. Now, if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, all of the transactions that would have happened within that 4-hour period, they don't get them. So whatever deals were being made, whatever deals were in the works, the network is down, so those transactions never come through. Those transactions might come through later, but then there's penalties on them, late fees and shit like that. Because the financial industry doesn't care what happens to your network. They just want the to go through so that they can get paid. And if anything happens, they get charged, so then they charge the company, and then the company loses money. So if I'm there and I know what I'm doing and I get us up in an hour versus 4 or 5 hours, they don't lose those transactions. Therefore, they don't get hit with penalties and all the rest of it. So you get paid to know what the fuck you're doing when shit hit the fan. Now, if an immigrant's in my place and he doesn't, they have to hire an MSP. So the MSP hops in, tries to fix it, but they don't really know the infrastructure that well. They have to learn it, and they have to do it. They have to be really fast and expert level. So they're going to charge you for that expertise. And they're going to charge you a lot for that expertise, and they might not get it done in the 4 hours either, but they'll get it done. But now you paying penalties on top of paying the MSP, on top of paying that cheap salary to that dude who keeps making mistakes. And then eventually, the company looks at their budget over the last 5 to 7 years. And they go, "Damn, it was cheaper for us to have a senior. It was cheaper for us to have a senior architect in here versus firing him and replacing him with cheap labor. So let's hire another senior architect and just leave him on staff." And then they do that, and then the process repeats all over again. So that's my industry in a nutshell. So that's how immigration works in my field. In other people's fields, it might work a little bit differently, but immigration isn't this low-hanging fruit job situation where all of the immigrants are doing grunt work. No, they take high-level professions too. Like the medical industry is full of immigrants. All them niggas own the hospitals. All of the Patels and Guptas own your fucking medical facilities. Go to urgent care. Look up your nearest urgent care and see who owns it. Go into your nearest urgent care or hospital and see all the doctors that are in there. You ain't gotta take my word for it. Just go to them hospitals. So you know what I have to do? I have to pay to get access to hospitals that are occupied by Ivy League students who fucking were at the top of their field and know what they're doing. I have to pay extra for that type of insurance and that type of access to those hospitals, but I do it. Why? Because I don't want the nigga who cheated on his tests working on me. I'm older now. I don't want the nigga. I'm older and I got kids. I don't want the nigga doing any type of medical procedure or diagnoses. I don't want the person who barely passed school on my medical shit. I don't. I want the genius. I want the nigga that didn't have to try hard. I want the motherfucker that walked around with no books and just memorized everything. I want that guy. I want that guy. I don't want the motherfucker who had 17 books but then left to go to a party and came back and drank a bunch of coffee and crammed. I don't want that nigga. He gonna make mistakes. He gonna fuck up. I don't want him. I don't want the struggle nigga. I don't want the struggle student working on me. Period. So that's how I feel about the medical industry. So I don't want immigrants who barely pass tests or cheat on tests or use the buddy system to get their job. I don't want them niggas. But we live in a country with a bunch of hippies. They okay with that shit. They like, you're just mad because people come here for a better life. I'm great when people come here for a better life. And at the same time, I don't want the nigga who had to finagle his way into a position working on me. I'm sorry. Just the way it is. Just like when I go to work for a company, I'm not gonna go in there being a fucking amateur. I'm gonna come in instant offense. That's how I want my doctors. I want instant offense. You know, same thing with a lawyer. Do you want the nigga who barely passed to be your lawyer? He got your life in the palm of his hands. You got a civil suit or a criminal suit. You know, if you into that type of shit or whatever the case may be. Maybe you got falsely accused. Do you want a bad lawyer? Do you want the struggle student as a lawyer? Let's take the criminal shit off the table. Just even in finance, do you want the struggle students as your finance lawyer or your accountant? You want them niggas? You want mediocre niggas to do your shit? And if that sounds elitist, I'll take it. But I don't want mediocre niggas doing my shit. I don't want a mediocre nigga handling my money if I'm like rich. I don't want a mediocre nigga handling any of my stuff. I don't want a mediocre nigga on my medical side. None of that. I don't want struggle students. Nigga, if you go to school, excel, motherfucker. So, yeah, I'm gonna be elitist on that. Everybody likes this mediocrity shit until it comes to their own life. You know, if it don't affect me, nigga, it does affect you. All of this shit affects you. When people say that, listen to what they say and then think about what I just said. Think about what a nigga just said. Think about what I just said about like mediocre students and shit. All of the people that handle the services in your life. Think about that. These are people that actually have your life or some piece or part of your life in the palm of their hand. You understand? They have like a small, and they have a section of your life that can actually affect you in the palm of their hand. Like your doctor is not a small thing. The hospital you go to is not a small thing. You know, and I'm not saying this is like, you know, because I've been a corporate employee for a long time. Even people like all you entrepreneur niggas that own companies and shit, y'all have to have legal representation once you form an LLC or a corp. You have to have a base level of legal representation. I can say they don't have real jobs. I mean, it makes some money, but or we gonna back out this bullshit, and y'all gonna fend for yourself. Anyway, and the other thing was when he got in office, he was like, we need to bring our troop levels down overseas because ain't nobody fighting, and we don't need to fight. So why do we got all these niggas over here just chilling and holding up in different countries with the guns out? Let's just bring them home so they can be with their families because we're not fighting anyway. Also, Obama proved that you don't really need a bunch of soldiers everywhere. You can just drone this shit out of everybody. They go for political seats and important jobs.
So, Ty City, the guy that was talking shit about Passport Bros, he exposed himself in this live right here. So, I told you that Ty City is one of the I'm better than you guys. And when you're I'm better than you type of guy, you have to take everything somebody's saying to heart. That's the reason why he going after, you know, he goes after the Manosphere, or because he thinks he's better than them. And Passport Bros. Now, in this conversation, because this is going to end, you know, spend enough time listening to Darryl talk, he did a better job conveying his way of talking about politics better than Man of Tomorrow. He broke it down in every single section he could.
Niggas, nig. Everything else is white people shit. You understand?
Yeah.
We don't go for anything important. Niggas won't even run for political office. Immigrants are actually joining the police force en masse. You know what I'm saying? Because they understand that there's a benefit to a lot of them being in the police force. And when the defund the police shit happened, they didn't do like niggas and be anti-police. They just started joining the police force. Now we got a lot of Somali police in Minneapolis. You see how they shit work?
They was up there.
Yeah, these motherfuckers, they don't play that shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Now, Ty City don't like the police because police hurt his little feelings. Because, you know, Ty City is the ego. He got an ego. Like, when you take ego away from people, They hate certain people. They like, oh, I can't, he can't shame, blame, and then he can't talk down to cops because cops have a whole entire infrastructure. They got a whole entire they got a whole entire power structure. You can't talk shit about them and call them names and SBE and all that shit. So of course he don't like cops. Of course he don't want to join the cops because then he have to take orders. In Todd City, he thinks that he's better than everybody else.
You see what I'm saying? So instead of taking it the way niggas did and like, yeah, fuck the police, man, white people.
That's me. That's like all day, bro.
Them niggas went and joined the force, and now they are the force.
Dude, that's me all day. I don't fuck with the police. Yeah, cause it's about ego. Police never mess with me because I wasn't at the right place at the wrong time. I wasn't in the right place for them to fuck with me, and I wasn't at the wrong place for them to just for me to be at the places. So your boy Todd City exposed himself for who he really is.
This the shit niggas need to be on. We need to get in those seats.
I'm good. I don't care what the race of the police is. You know what I'm saying? Speak and keep it moving. That's it. I'm not in the I don't admire police like that, but I think they bother like law-abiding citizens every.
Well, you bother people too all the time online, but nobody talks about that.
They just try to live.
No, they do, but the thing is, there's power there. So you want the doors power washed, like the nigga just naming shit that they do it like they're not doing anything tangible. We had a nigga come look through the windows to make sure that the glass works, and we're gonna have somebody come through next week to hold the doorknobs and twist them to make sure that the doors lock and unlock appropriately. Like this is Umar.
You gotta repeat yourself 3 times, bro. I said, power wash the doors, brothers. Power wash.
Yeah. And what's making this fucked up though is the conservative dick ride brigade. Like they're in full gloat mode, and they don't need to be in gloat mode. They don't need to be riding dicks hard. And they think like it's some type of savior shit going on. Like no, feminism gonna keep doing this thing, and nobody finna do nothing about this problem. Like we still gonna have like a birth rate problem. We still gonna have the unequal law problem. We still gonna have like the problem with entertainment where bitches taking that shit over and everything's all fucked up and nobody can watch or doing. You can't even do music anymore. It's like sport.
Yep, that's the reason why I'm listening to multiple. I'm listening to so much different music now. I can't stand the music now. It's just too feminized. Entertainment in general is just fucking whack.
It's just fucked up. Like everything fucked up now. It's just like
man, you know what? Right? I don't think they even. I think they running straight wide open capitalism this time, but they don't give a fuck about none of that shit, dog. Like if it ain't business, I don't even think they gonna even like worry about it this go around, bro. Like
we'll see because again, like I asked the question I think a few streams ago, where most people that work in corporate America, your boss is probably a bitch, and she probably came in within the last year or two.
Yeah, I can see that too. Like the revenge undertones. Yeah, I gotta see that shit too. But I mean, I just don't want people. I just don't want people to put their guards down. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't want people to do that either.
Motherfuckers put their guard. They let their guards down, bro. Like the first school shooting, that motherfucker gonna be trampling on motherfuckers' rights again. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like motherfuckers just act like this. It don't happen.
No, motherfuckers think they can take a step back inside, get that sigh of relief out. Again, this shit ain't over with. All you did was hold back the communism for 4 more years. No, seriously. That's how I'm saying. You just holding it off for 4 more years. Unless we can do something about feminism, it's over with. Cause it's going. They gonna get their way and they gonna crush this shit. Cause that's what it all stems from. You can't have a society if nobody's like actually making families.
Man, I did some research on JD Vance, bro. Hey, JD Vance is like he really is like a manosphere dude, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's something. I was looking into it. I guess he wrote his book, and man, like half of the book is going in on his mom for being a single mother and shit, bro.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you see the way he talk, right?
Yeah. I started looking into his shit, and he was he like a manosphere dude for real.
Yeah, but somebody put in the chat, getting rid of no fault divorce is crazy. Again, the go back in time policies, this shit finna backfire like a motherfucker, dog. That's why I said we're gonna hold back the conversation.
Yeah, okay, so how did you gonna get rid of no fault divorce? Like you don't make bitches stay married.
You can't. I'm just saying, even the proposition gonna be crazy. It's gonna be wild. You gotta roll with this shit. You have to give them equal right. You have to. And then everything will fix itself once you give them the equal rights. The only problem with equal rights is white people and their racism. That's really new bitch.
They knocked the blazers off. The blendings knocked the blazers off.
Them blendings is crazy. Yeah. I think they got the blazers, yo. I think this is a different level. Anyway, yeah, they full of them, yo. Full of them. Oh, Times Square ghetto is shit. Now, when I went, so in 2018, Times Square had like a luster about it, like a awe. Like for the Times, yeah, it was awe-inspiring. When you go to Times Square, you're like, wow, this is America. You know, you just fucking feel good.
Yeah.
I went a few weeks ago, man. Times Square is ghetto as shit. I was like, this is fucked up. Like dead ass. Like Times Square is like it look gritty. It stinks. You know?
I ain't been in New York in so long, man. I ain't been up there in a minute.
Yes, no, I got you. But back in 2018, Times Square had this is where all the movies are shot type shit. Because I was taking my son to all of the places where the Avengers shot because he loves the. You know, he liked the Avengers shit, so I took him around to everywhere. I took him to Grand Central Station, where they shot the Spider-Man.
I'm saying it just feel kind of like, okay, that one was bullshit, but this one, this is a good one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah.
Well, here's the thing, a vote dump. And then we got more people voting in districts where there are registered voters.
Same shit. You know, all this dumbass shit, but it's like, no, they voted, you know what I'm saying, with their purse.
Right. I used to be a gentrification nigga. I like gentrification.
I'm for gentrification too, because, I mean, if the shit falling apart and it's getting worse and worse and worse, I mean, when the fuck you want it to stop getting worse?
Right.
Like, do you just sit there and while it's like ashes and shit, and also, you know, having pride in some bullshit or what?
Yeah, I was definitely a gentrification nigga because I figured if it make the neighborhood better, then fine. Because I've seen gentrification at work, you know. And so one time I did a stream about immigration, right? And I was talking about domestic immigration. And then the immigration we all know, like the foreign shit, right? So the domestic immigration is like when niggas from the hood start making money, and then they move to an affluent neighborhood and bring all their bullshit with them. They bring all their hood bullshit with them. They want to be the hood nigga in the white people neighborhood. That's a form of immigration, and it's the same type of immigration that I see with foreigners. Hood niggas that ain't at the top of the food chain in the hood, they don't like their position on the totem pole. So they move out to the white neighborhood in order to...
Right. It's funny that nobody actually talks about that, right? There's a lot of hood dudes who, they ain't really the top dudes. They're the bottom feeders. I seen a whole bunch of them. And then they move into certain neighborhoods where they are this alluring guy. Oh my God, he's so dangerous.
Be at the top of the food chain. But then they become like the novelty nigga. They live in the neighborhood, they're the cool black dude. They get to fuck everybody bitch and all the rest of it. And then the other niggas start moving there because white people start moving out. And then the white people, instead of like dealing with that type of gentrification, they just leave. Whereas niggas, they'll run the neighborhood to the ground. And then when the gentrification starts, instead of accepting it and trying to take advantage of the opportunities that's coming into that neighborhood because of the gentrification, they get mad about it and want you to fix everything so they can still stay there and do fuck shit. That's the problem I have with as far as like when it goes with niggas. They don't even see opportunity when it show up.
Dude, you know, I've been like knee deep in this shit with the unions and shit, bro. I didn't know they had a renters union, bro. They have a union. The finance world fuck with them. The sports people fuck with them. Like,
I'll put 10 on that. That nigga is not gonna make it as a politician.
I don't think he gonna. I think he gonna run, but I don't think about it is the tariffs will have to be so high to override the cheap labor, bro. Like
that's what he did.
Like you. Exactly, but you know, it do take some nerves to like go in front of people and tell them that we ain't got it. You know, you just got you pulled up in a drophead Phantom. You see what I'm saying? So if it was a regular residence, then you'd be taxed by the square footage of living space.
Right.
So they've been building these barndominiums all over the place.
And you call COVID, you the fuck out of here.
I don't think so. I think that
here we go, gender and race. It was crazy. They say white.
That new account you had. Yeah, I clip what I can, but then
they money, they time
coming back up in America with like murders and shit.
Damn.
Chicago, they had a whole pipeline in Chicago with them guns.
See. That's what I'm saying. See, you're not stopping the shit. You're just making room for the bullshit to happen. That's why. But anyway, that picture I showed you is why gun control ain't gonna ever happen in America. Because it's silly. You know.
Yeah.
A well-behaved populace is an armed populace. Shit. That's how you want it to be.
Nah, yeah. Like. Even down here, where I was at, I went to a swap meet. Guns ended up in Chicago and shit.
No, this is what happens when any country this is throughout history. Whenever a country takes your guns away, this is what's gonna happen. We all know who that nigga is that said I agree. He took the guns away from his people.
Yo, but you know what I'm saying though, bro? Even Trump said take the guns and do due process later.
Right. But that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. So
yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
look at the nigga next to him. That's Mr. Castro. He took the guns from his people, and look what happened. The nigga next to him, well, I think he's number one.
Yo, people don't even know that, bro.
This the number one nigga right here. This nigga
people don't even know that, bro. He did his own people, bro.
Yeah. This is the top dog right here. Nigga, Yosef. Go the original Joe, nigga. This is that Joe? Nigga. Yeah, this is that nigga right here, right? This is him. He's the man. And the nigga next to him is number two. These two motherfuckers combined killed more people than every war that has ever been fought on the planet. Ever. Nigga. These two. and they say this guy right here, the first one, they talk about he's the bar, right, for atrocities. No, he's not. These niggas' stats is off the charts.
Yeah, Yosef Hall of Fame with it. He in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. That nigga is the man. And then we got our homies here at the bottom. Mumar. Y'all probably know. Mumar. He's the guy that actually tried to.
He thought it was a good idea to actually
back his money
with an actual asset.
Yeah. He tried to back his money with he tried to back his money with substance, or like we did with gold. So he tried to back his money up, and America got his ass the fuck up out of here. But he was on some dictator shit too. And all of these people have in common is they took the guns away from their populace in order to
took him out.
Obama took this nigga out in order to do what they needed to do. You know, we got my guy Idi Amin with his crooked ass. All he wanted to do is fuck hoes and smoke cigarettes. And Pol Pot, I don't know if y'all know this is the Cambodian nigga right here. This is the Cambodian guy. And y'all know who the last dude is. We ain't gotta talk about that motherfucker. but yeah, all these dudes, the easiest way to fuck your populace is just take the guns from them. And we keep acting like it's not a thing. We keep saying it's not a thing, but as soon as you take the guns, niggas is out of here. You out of here.
That shit is kind of scary though, man. On the cool, we should be grateful that so many weapons were just sold and distributed across this land for so many years, bro.
Yes. And also, before I get off of this topic, let me ask a question. Where do in our Eastern country friends have strict gun control where the citizens can't have guns? So where do all of the bad guys get their guns from? How if all these other countries that have the super gun control then how come they still having shootings and shit? Anybody ever thought about that?
Well, not you talking about in the East, right?
Yeah, in the East.
Okay, I'm finna say in the West. You know,
no, in the West we know why, but over in the East we got they got all the gun control. How come it doesn't stop the bad guys? Again, ask yourself a question like a 5-year-old. Yeah. My son do that shit. He'll just ask me a question that's like crazy logical because he's young. His brain just be like, well, you told me this. And you call COVID, you the fuck.
Two unions merge. Are people going to take lower wages?
That's what I was explaining earlier. What President Tangerine was doing. He was tagged, and it was working. That was
two unions merged. That was like one of the things we're like trying to get rid of overtime.
I remember when COVID first got introduced. Trying to play. We don't. I remember when COVID first got introduced to the state money. They
is touching these places even more now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the more American dollars start circulating, you know.
Yeah, you know what though? I ain't got a problem with the passport niggas at all. Like I think if that's what you need to make it, then that's what you need to make it. It's just. It is what it is. It's their money, their time. I don't give a fuck.
These niggas ain't going nowhere to make it, dog. Let's knock it off, man. These niggas ain't going nowhere to make it, bro. These niggas just be happy to be around some prostitutes, man. Let's keep it a buck.
So, your boy Ty City said they just want to be around prostitutes, like the women here ain't really fucking prostitutes selling themselves, right? And this is the thing that I told y'all about how programmed these niggas really are. Mind you, this is a single father who had sex with a woman and had to fight in court for his child. I don't want to go down the route of Ty City, right? This the guy who hides his streams and takes them down, Mr. Clip guy, right? Now listen to what he said.
And that's on them. That's the life they want to live.
I was about to say.
Don't sell it to me. Don't sell it to me like I'm a fucking loser on a plantation or some weird shit, dog. Like I ain't.
No one was selling shit to you, you stupid motherfucker. This is the funny thing about this, right? These guys took that shit real to heart, where they felt like that they was getting talked about. This is why I say I'm better than you niggas will think things to take it to heart. Nobody was trying to sell you about that, dude. You're a single father. You are an example of what not to fucking be. You can't talk anything because the fact is you made a mistake with a woman and you had to take the child from her. You are on a plantation, dude. You shouldn't even be online.
Going, dog.
I don't have a problem with the selling it either. I don't. I mean,
Yeah. Don't sell it to me like I'm a fucking loser, though, nigga. Like,
No one's trying to sell you shit. Did anybody specifically go after Ty City? This is why I said I'm better than you type dudes. They think the shit is always about them. When somebody sell me Black Love, you think that I'm sitting here angry about that shit? I'm looking at everybody else like, you ain't selling that shit to me. You selling that shit to these guys. Dumb fuck. But hey. Now, let's finish this video. Now, Manita Merleside says that men are misogynists and all this other stuff, right? But we have...
Mexico is a key partner in trying to curb illegal immigration, and today President Biden called to congratulate the country's historic new president-elect.
We have a woman who became the first Mexican president. She didn't use any celebrities.
The president of Latin America.
No one talks about the failed president run of the Brazilian woman who fucked up Brazil. Now let's listen to the thing when she...
Its largest economy forced to step aside after Brazil's Senate voted to embark on an impeachment trial. Dilma Rousseff, the country's first female president, is charged with breaking the law by concealing the scale of the country's budget deficit, a charge she denies. But she's also in this position because of other issues that have sunk her approval ratings to around 10%. In order to understand how she got here, let's rewind the clock. How did Rousseff rise? Rousseff establishes her populist bona fides in the late 1960s. In the wake of a military coup, the daughter of a well-educated Bulgarian immigrant joins Brazil's guerrilla movement, is captured and tortured at the hands of the dictatorship. As the grip of the dictatorship weakens, she rises through the ranks in Brazilian politics, becoming a rising star in the Workers' Party. She allies herself with Luiz Lula da Silva, who becomes president in 2003. He appoints her chair of the country's state-run oil concern, Petrobras. Later, she becomes da Silva's chief of staff, and then, as his hand-picked successor, in 2011, Rousseff wins the presidency. Brazil's economy is booming, fueled by China's voracious appetite for Brazilian commodities like iron ore.
Brazil is on the rise.
Rousseff's seen helping Brazil's impoverished rise, literally, inaugurating a cable car system benefiting a Rio shanty town. In 2014, despite a downturn in the economy due to slowing commodities demand, Rousseff is narrowly re-elected. Then things quickly go south for her. What caused her downfall? Months after her re-election, Petrobras becomes embroiled in a corruption scandal. Many fellow Workers' Party leaders are sucked in. Rousseff had been chairperson of Petrobras during the period of bid rigging and bribery. Many Brazilians think she must have been involved. On top of that, Brazil enters its worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Unemployment grows from around 7% in 2011, when Rousseff took office, to the current 11%. The country's debt also rising. Rousseff installs a pro-austerity economist as finance minister, much to the dismay of her working-class base. Earlier this year, hundreds of thousands of Brazilians take to the streets, demanding her ouster. Her brusque manner has also earned her enemies, leaving few to defend her as she faces impeachment proceedings on charges of corruption. Even as she leads the ceremony for the lighting of the Olympic torch to celebrate the 2016 Rio Games, it seems increasingly hard to imagine her as the person to light the way for Brazil's future. sponsor.
See, instead of throwing ad hominems, attack on people, all one side had to do was post all of the good jobs that these female presidents was doing. But at the same time, there's not a lot of blueprint on a lot of these women are doing now because, well, most of the women that got into power, they got into power in 2020. Now,
Vjosa Osmani Sadriou.
Now, presidency is different in other countries. They don't use a lot of celebrities' endorsements. They don't do all this crazy stuff that they do over here. So, all these countries have female presidents and female leaders. And these countries are worse than America when it comes down to respecting women and all that other shit, right? So how could their countries do it and our countries couldn't? Now, what other people who were supporting Kamala Harris, they never really talked about this.
My first oyster was good. Do you feel like celebs help a campaign or not? You know, we saw a lot of celebrities on, Kamala train and she didn't win. Do you think it helps?
They didn't help this time,
Right. So what do you think going forward? Will we see more politicians using celeb endorsements or?
I think people, if they feel strongly about something, should speak out about it. It just doesn't mean it's going to make a difference.
Now, a lot of people spoke about all the heavy ads, right?
Yeah.
Did they bother you? And are you happy it's over?
I think they bother everyone.
Yep. Everybody said how annoying those ads was. Everybody, I wasn't the only one who was receiving text messages about this fucking election and shit from the Kamala side. She wasted so much money and she ignored it was annoying. It was an annoying pain to have text messages and stuff on my shit all the time popping up. Oh, you gotta vote for the rights. You gotta vote for this and stuff. It was all about abortion rights. It was all about all these other rights, all this bullshit that motherfuckers never cared about. We have older ass women telling motherfuckers about abortion rights. Man, you too old to be caring about no abortion rights, man. What the fuck are you talking about? But somehow, some way, she led with that and she thought that the women were going to convince the men to vote. Now, you got women out here now talking about they joining the 4B movement. Now, mind you, these are the same women who make fun of incels like your boy Ty City. Now let's finish that. But I'm not probably gonna make a video about that. But not.
They thought their lawyer was heifer. Okay. These women, why stand? How do you know?
Oh, come on, man. I thought he was gonna put a video.
Say this to women are so.
Has
Because this is father in their life.
okay.
These are the people that Man of Tomorrow is on the same side with. The same women.
Battery level is 30%.
Isn't it crazy that you call the left or right, whatever, these people, but they lose one time, and the right goes to the Capitol Hill, and the left destroys entire cities and costs people billions of dollars, and now 4 years later, we're in a bad economy, and basically there's less stores around every area, and there's less places everywhere. Big organizations are going out of business and everything else, and this was 4 years under so-called Biden. 4 years under them. Big corporations can't afford to do stuff. They taking stuff out, and sometimes it's in prominent areas. This ain't in the hood and none of that. It's in prominent areas. Giants closing, all these other places closing, but nobody talks about that. People got less place to shop. No, a lot of people don't want to go online. because I don't want to wait. But now I have to shop online more and go in store less.
I hate me that bad! I'm sorry! No! Why?
This is their side. And they not even confirming, they not even acknowledging that these are the wackos that are on Kamala Harris' side. So it doesn't matter what Amanda Tomorrow or these guys say about Kamala Harris or the Democrats. Your side look fucking ridiculous. These are the people that everybody sees. I don't care what you talk about the conservative motherfuckers, because these guys, but you can tell these guys ain't out here doing violence and doing crime and doing all this crazy shit and screaming and yelling at everybody. Yes, January 6th was crazy, but 2020 was even worse. Did the January 6th destroy entire stores and destroy entire economies? No. The stores, so many stores are closed now. I go to a supermarket, and the supermarket is they got more people coming in their area, and these people are ignorant. They're fucking crazy, and I'm like, where did these people come from? Somebody was like, yeah, these people destroyed their supermarkets and nobody built this shit back up. Funny that you guys on the Democrat side or whatever side, whatever, y'all not trying to build these places up. The pro-black motherfuckers running around talking about they care about the community. There's a lot of real estate open and y'all not opening shit up for your so-called people. So in this video under the comments, I'm gonna basically give you multiple I'm gonna give you multiple links so you can go to. You're gonna get you're gonna see the difference between celebrity endorsements of Trump and celebrity endorsements of Kamala Harris. Then you're gonna see the story that I composed for the guy that took his own life and his own kids and his ex-girlfriend and all this other stuff. And also I'm gonna show you hopefully that SYSBM is not all on the blue side. It's not a lot of people sitting there talking about this shit right there. It's just man to tomorrow, man. And I'm not let down, but at the same time it's getting real out of hand. Now, it's like it's getting crazy, like going politically crazy. If you are, you can do that offline. Y'all can do this somewhere else, but it's like I don't have to watch. But people kept asking me. So basically you got my answer. 3 parts. The reason why, like, it's a point of me like, okay, it's getting too far. Talking about we suffering, but then at the same time saying we have permanent underclass, talking down to everybody. But it's getting kind of out of hand. Like I said, I still respect the guy for what he did or whatever. But at this time, it's like, So